All right, so my measurements were downright perfect. Look at that. Little gap, that's perfect. Now I have decisions to make because this section's gonna sink down a little bit. Which, you know what, I think I can figure this out. What I'm gonna do, I definitely want it to be over. So I'm gonna take a measurement on each side and throw a tack weld on there. Also, I'm gonna give you a welder cold start right here. Show you that it does run. Fires right up. I need to run it a little bit though, but you can see it's a little cold, but she does run. So we'll figure out all the settings and whatnot, and so that can stay there. And then I gotta figure all this out when I am welding and this guy here. So slow and steady, we'll get there. But she runs, she fires up. That means that little torpedo heater can come with me when I do mobile jobs. All right, so first part, this part, right? We got it squared. It was 49 3/16 from the end of this one to the end of that one, and then same with down there. See if I can do this on camera. I don't know if I can. Yep, 49 3/16. 49 3/16. So we are square there, and we have about 5 7/16 on both sides, I was pretty sure, and then this side we have 7 7. So they might have cut these a little odd. These two were perfectly 60. I think that one was a smidgen 61, like just a smidgen over, like 60 and a 16th, and then this one was perfectly 63. So just keep that in mind. So everything's square now. Now we do a test fit, see how we like it, and then if the test fit goes well, then we can weld all 4 corners out, and then that's done. And then we start messing. Actually, this is all I had them cut, so I'm gonna start figuring out. I'd like to have a box, you know, box in a section here, box in a section there, and then that'll be part 2. So it's not gonna sit flush until I do these up here. You guys will see I got a notch for those. Because basically, if I ever move this setup to another truck, which this is my goal, I want this to be able to go from any 8-foot bed truck. So, the aux tank goes down first, and then this whole thing sets over top of it. So that's the goal. But this is done. I'm gonna get this welded through, and then we will start working on the next section, which I'm gonna get the measurements for now, which is basically just a simple, I need to figure, we'll come to like right about here, but I'm gonna pick an even number. I'm not trying to, you know, exact this and that. Like, I'm gonna pick an even, like say this is 14 inches. I'm just gonna pick a 14-inch mark, whatever it is, and then weld it on the end. Same thing over here. We'll get a nice 1.5 inches over that. You know, I'm not new, definitely a little rusty. How nice and flush that one is. The camera makes that look like shit. But can't argue, it's definitely solid. All right, so we're gonna need 18 inches between those two. I would have loved to go on the outside, but I did cut these a bit long. So either way, there's gonna be squares sticking out on certain ends. I might cap them later when I learn how to do a little bit better. And for the guys that are gonna say, well, why don't you use that? And I'll be honest, I don't have any experience with welding with a stick welder, but I have a good bit of experience welding with a 220, or in this case a 242, but you know, I have experience with this, so like my rustiness, it's like riding a bicycle, it'll come back to me. But this, I have no experience with, so at least with this, I have a partial chance of getting a decent outcome. With this, I have no, also that thing's loud, but like I have no chances of that actually coming out decent. All right, bad news, we're out of gas. See that? So we got it tacked. I'm gonna have to go get more. I don't think we have any more in the shop. I'll check. We might have another bottle. Okay, this is where we're left off. Last part. We do have a top and a bottom because I got to figure out where the shit welds were. I made a big boo-boo somewhere and had to clean it up, and I don't remember where it was. And I'm gonna figure this out now. And don't be afraid to fuck up, guys. I have not welded in a while, like a good hot minute. And I'm definitely far from perfect. I gotta figure out where the boo-boo's at. Oh yeah, here it is. So this one. So this is the bottom. This, I blew a big hole in it and I had to kind of just cycle through it. So this is gonna get cleaned up. Keep in mind, this is just stage one. This is gonna be a permanent skid, so I'm trying to make this as if I'm keeping it forever. So I'm gonna take this, plop it in the truck. Like I said, this will be the bottom, which I should probably mark that somewhere that it's the bottom. All right, part one of the skid. So what I'm probably gonna do on the next part, which I'm not gonna do, I don't know if I'm gonna do it right now. I will probably, oh man, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Before we leave tonight, I am gonna notch those bolts, but I think the next step would be putting an inner support brace. I gotta figure out where I want it. I need to watch more of these videos. I just wanted to get this simple principle down. I could not sleep last night thinking about how I wanted to build this, and this is exactly what I was thinking of in my head. I didn't expect it to turn out as good as it did, but in my head I'm just thinking, and definitely could not sleep. So this, I'm not sure this is centered, but we got our holes marked. I just used a highlighter to mark that quick. I don't have any chalk or some shit on me. So I'm going off of the back so that it's easier to come in and out. So what we're gonna do now, pull this back out, notch them, and then this will drop this down a little bit more. Like you can see, if I were to pull this out, here, where's, come on, pull it out. Well, actually, I can't prove that point because, you know, that, but yeah. Oh well, I got the holes marked. All I'm gonna do is cut a little notch on the bottom so that way that bolt has somewhere to sit, and then we're good. And eventually we will weld these two together, but not right now. We're not gonna do that now because that'll sit just like that. Notch that so then there's a little bit of a gap here, and then we'll weld that fat piece right there. But I'd like to be able to keep removing this so that I can keep adding to it. Before I do that, my OCD really wants me to weld that today, but the smart half of my brain is telling me not to do that. All right, so a couple things to note. You guys see, that's all squared right there. And I made sure to cut the even distance, so I cut all the way back here. Same thing with over here. You can see these lines. I cut all the way into the center and all the way out here. So I cut an even distance from the outside in, because this tank, I don't actually have the thing centered. If you look at the bolt holes, one bolt would be like right here, and the other bolt over here is all the way out here. So this and the welding setup is kind of offset that way. If you can see a little bit of lip that way and a little bit less lip over here. Like I said, everything's between this. And nobody ever puts their OC tank center anyway, but I left it like that so that way we can have a little bit of leeway. Part of me kind of wants to say keep these two separate, like this whole skid thing, but I don't know. Then the other part of me is like, let's just weld it all together and make one big ass skid. But that's probably gonna do it for now. I don't want to waste any more gas on this project today until I know 100% what's next, and to decide if I'm gonna utilize this whole box or whatnot, because then I would go the whole way back, which I might not. I also had some other plans of maybe putting an air system with the spare tire, building something out for that. So I don't know 100% what I'm gonna do. Might just leave this like this, and like I was saying, we are getting a black bed eventually, so I don't know 100% if I'm gonna cut this out later. Also thought about being able to take that toolbox and build like a floor here, and then that way I can just, the toolbox that's over there somewhere, thought about just making it removable, put it in. If I need it, take it out. But I don't know yet. I'm gonna get some more ideas online tonight, but just keep in mind, everything is square. Believe it or not, I did a pretty decent job at doing that. It's kind of hard with that little weld splatter in there, but yeah, can't put it in the corner, but I'm just trying to, yeah, there we go. All lines up. A little square here. See that? All follows the lines and shit. She's square. That's good enough for me. Don't know what I'm gonna do to support this because this can move around right now, but I don't know. I did what I wanted to do today. I wanted to build this and I built it. Props to me for doing that. All right, just got the message that dinner's done, so I gotta get out of here. But I am gonna finish this up real quick. Just leave that like that. Always make sure you turn your welding gas off. So, set that there. I'll be back tomorrow. But I am gonna quick throw this guy in. I made sure to cut the positive one longer. So I'm gonna wire this in real quick so that way that light up there can charge, even though you can't see it with the welder. So, all right, we got the new plug. She's chilling down here. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave it plugged in because then this is gonna, it's just gonna suck power. Not worth it. So when we need it, we have it. Also hit my little light earlier, so we'll leave that. But now that we're done, that seems fine. I'll clean up tomorrow. I know I'll regret saying that, but I'll do it tomorrow. I always regret saying that. And no matter how many times I fix this bedside, it doesn't matter unless, like, I even put nuts on the backside and they still come loose, so I don't have screws that small and they're kind of in a place. So this bed's fucked anyway, so look at this. Look at this fucker. That's crazy. I mean, maybe if I bolt this down in, it would be a lot more structural, but... And I'm gonna close the video out here. Keep in mind, guys, I threw that thing on the ground multiple times and torture tested it, and it didn't break, and it came out square at the end, so I must be doing something right. The welds might not be the prettiest, but they're solid and they will get the job done. So, just keep that in mind. Haters is what it is. Can't really hate. So, see you guys in the next video. cpstevemiller.com if you need anything. P.O. Box down in the description. Use Mud Flap, link in the description as well. See you in the next video. Later.